We begin tonight with new developments in the Preston Lord murder case following an emotional day in Maricopa County Court. William Hines is one of 7 defendants charged with the 2023 death of the 16-year-old, and today he changed his plea to guilty. Good evening and thanks so much for joining us. For 12 News at 10, I'm Kariba Devine.
And I'm Mark Curtis. 12 News journalist Bianca Bono has been covering this tragic case since it first happened. She's up in the newsroom. And Bianca, what are the terms of the deal?
Yeah, well, guys, from what we gleaned in court today, William Owen Hines has agreed to plead guilty to a charge of manslaughter, a reduced charge from what he was initially charged with, which was first-degree murder.
Are you feeling clear-headed and ready to make an important decision today?
Yes.
A major development in the Preston Lord murder case, as one of the 7 defendants charged with killing the 16-year-old is now admitting guilt.
How do you plead to that charge, sir? Guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
During a settlement conference on Tuesday, William Owen Hines becoming the first to strike a deal with the state. Originally charged with first-degree murder, now pleading guilty to a reduced charge of manslaughter.
Plea is accepted and entered of record.
Hines' attorneys admitting to his involvement, saying that fateful night in October of 2023, Hines and other accomplices attacked Lord outside of a Halloween party in Queen Creek and beat him to death.
Multiple accomplices struck Preston Lord, including Owen, who kicked Preston Lord at least one time while Preston was on the ground.
Lord's family in court as those disturbing details were revealed. An emotional moment as Lord's mother spoke out.
To say we miss our son is an understatement. Preston was our world.
Amidst their unimaginable grief, she and her family now forced to endure this painful legal process for Hines and 6 other defendants.
Accountability is crucial. This defendant must answer for his actions, and we believe the plea agreement is appropriate in this case.
Also addressing the court was Hines himself, beginning with an apology to the Lord family.
These events have horrified me since the moment I saw the news.
During the hearing, Hines also agreed to plead guilty in 3 separate, unrelated aggravated assault cases.
I hope the court can see that I am serious about one day making a difference and also owning up to my mistakes.
According to the judge, Hines now faces between 10.5 and 21 years in prison for all 4 cases as he awaits sentencing scheduled for May 2nd, this marking the first of 7 cases to near its conclusion. And just yesterday, the Arizona House passed Preston's Law, a bill that would increase penalties in assault cases when 2 or more accomplices are involved. Now, it's unclear if the remaining 6 defendants in this case have also been offered deals and if they're willing to accept them. We're live in the newsroom tonight. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
Bianca, thanks. Also new tonight, criminal charges could be filed in the case of an infant who died from extreme heat at Lake Havasu. The 4-month-old was rushed to a hospital back in July after suffering a medical issue while on a boat with family. The child was eventually rushed to Phoenix Children's Hospital and later died. An autopsy report showed the baby died from complications of heat exposure. The Mojave County Sheriff's Office has forwarded the case to the county attorney for potential charges of negligent homicide.
Tonight, friends and family gathered to mourn a teen who was brutally murdered after disappearing from her Mesa group home. Mesa police say that 14-year-old Emily Pike was last seen leaving her group home in January near McKellips Road and Mesa Drive. In February, her remains were found outside of Globe, and she was publicly identified just last week. Emily's family says that they're from San Carlos Apache tribe and are overwhelmed by all the support as they search for answers.
This is Emily's village. You can't just roam around free. You know, we have people supporting us, loving us. We're moving forward with love. And there can only come consequences with that.
The Gila County Sheriff's Office is leading the investigation into Emily's murder. At this point, there haven't been any arrests.
Tonight, another round of school closures was up for discussion in the Valley. The Phoenix Elementary School District is facing a multi-million-dollar deficit and planned on closing 2 schools to help make up that money. But at the last minute, the governing board decided to postpone the vote. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly has more on the growing backlash that led to the decision.
A governing board member told me that hundreds of people asked for more community input. The problem is, with a delay in this vote, the superintendent says dozens of teachers and staff could be laid off because of it. Outside the Phoenix Elementary School District, a protest against the closing of Dunbar and Hurd elementary schools.
I think it's a poor decision. It's a quick solution.
That's going to impact all of us in the community.
A large crowd against the closure packed the meeting Tuesday night, where district leadership was supposed to make a decision. Both schools closing would impact hundreds of students and their families, but help make up a $12 million budget shortfall because of declining enrollment. Teaching jobs and other staff positions would also be cut. But because of so much opposition from the community, the board agreed to push the vote back.
There's still hope, and there'll continue to be hope.
We don't know what's going to happen. We've got to watch it very closely.
Governing board member Erica Ovalle says they will now create a community committee made up of district families that will weigh in on what should happen.
Even if we do decide to close schools together, it's got to be a decision we make together.
When we asked how long that process could take,
Not more than a year.
But Superintendent Deborah Gonzalez says they don't have that kind of time.
So pushing it back does put us in a little bit of a bind.
No matter what happens, she says the district still needs to come up with $12 million. And if a final decision isn't made soon, drastic layoffs will happen.
We're looking at almost 90 positions cut. That includes teachers, that includes support staff.
She says pre-kindergarten would also get axed, which several parents said they don't want to happen to keep the programs people want. Gonzalez says tough decisions will have to be made. The superintendent told me they really have to make a final decision by their first board meeting in April, which is just a few short weeks away, leaving a lot up in the air for teachers and parents within the district. We're in Phoenix. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
Big misunderstanding. I can definitely show you. Big misunderstanding.
You're looking at what officials are calling a big misunderstanding. This was caught on camera by Glendale police. 3 men who were visiting Arizona were handcuffed and questioned after unknowingly renting a stolen car. 12 News journalist Gabriela Becerra explains what happened and what police are saying about the mix-up.
Have a seat on the curb. Have a seat on the curb.
3 men were met by this shocking encounter on a trip to the valley. Glendale police officers with guns raised conducting a felony traffic stop on a stolen car.
Whose car is this? Turo car. Turo? Yes. Like rental? Yes.
This blue Dodge Charger popped up as stolen on one of Glendale's license plate readers near 79th Avenue and Bell Road.
If you want to unlock the phone, it's a big misunderstanding. I can definitely show you.
The driver tells police he had rented the car from Turo just hours before. Turo is a car-sharing company that allows people to rent cars directly from the owner through an app.
Whoever did this is doing something to us. No idea about this. Got this thing today. Keys were handed to me.
After confirming the rental agreement, the men were let go without incident, and officers drove them home.
This and a bunch of other cars were all kind of stolen at the same time.
You see, and that makes sense.
And now it seems like people are stealing them and then renting them out to people.
And then you come to us and we're just like, yo, what's going on?
Yeah. According to a police report, the car had been stolen out of Phoenix. Phoenix police tell me multiple car keys were reported stolen on January 21st, which led to the theft of 12 cars. Some had been rented out to people.
We're gonna need a refund.
A Turo spokesperson tells me they did fully refund this customer. They say the host had previously reported the car as stolen, but never told police to remove it from the database after it was found. In a statement, the spokesperson says, quote, "They are doing everything possible to reinforce our safety and communication protocols with our hosts because nothing matters more to us than keeping our guests safe."
This is not really the app's fault. They do their best to vet the situation. It's on the owners of these individual properties, if you will, to go ahead and let the app know what's going on. Had they done so, this car would have never been in the system and these folks would have never been taken for their money.
In Glendale, Gabriela Becerra, 12 News.
Gabby, thanks. So we reached out to the driver and the passengers who live in Maryland. They weren't available for an interview, but they did tell us in a statement that they thank God they were able to walk away and go home to their families. They also plan to seek the truth and find out what happened that night.
Now to Washington, D.C., where in a fiery speech to both chambers of Congress tonight, President Trump pushed Republicans to help turn his agenda into law. The president describing the first 43 days of his second term as the most successful in history, touting what he calls early wins and promising more change. The address began with some pushback, with Texas Representative Al Green refusing to sit down before ultimately being led out of the Capitol. Another key moment came when Trump called on Congress to end the CHIPS Act, which provided funding for U.S.-based semiconductor producers, including TSMC and Intel, both companies that have a large presence here in Arizona.
And we're not giving them any money. Your CHIPS Act is a horrible, horrible thing. We give hundreds of billions of dollars, and it doesn't mean a thing. They take our money and they don't spend it. All that meant to them, we're giving them no money. All that was important to them was they didn't want to pay the tariffs, so they came and they're building, and many other companies are coming. We don't have to give them money. We just want to protect our businesses and our people.
Trump also reiterating that reciprocal tariffs will take effect on April 2nd. Trump saying, quote, whatever they tax us, we will tax them, referring to tariffs on all major U.S. trading partners. It comes just a day after 25% tariffs on Mexico and Canada went into effect.
Meanwhile, just hours before the president's address, hundreds of protesters rallied against current White House policies outside the state capitol. Our crew saw people protesting actions like the crackdown on immigration, Trump's federal funding freeze, moves on transgender rights, and his empowerment of Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE.